Alright, what's up guys, Gambler here. And today I finally get to talk about Demon Slayer, but we're yapping about it today because I'm still in the middle of making the Hashira ranking. So this is going to be a second channel yap session. And it's about something that I don't even know how this started. Oh, I know how it started actually. So basically, I was reading Demon Slayer and I reached the Kokoshibo fight. That's the one I read the Kogashiba fight. I'm sorry, I'm looking at my phone as I'm talking because I was checking my comments. But anyways, what was I saying? Yeah, so I was reading the Kokoshibo fight on stream, and I didn't stream the next day, so I was just by myself with my thoughts. And then I was like, okay, we saw. I feel like I still have it pulled up here. Yeah, I saw this where Gyomei uses the see-through world on Kokoshibo. And I was like, oh, since he has that, then Gyomei should be able to like absolutely fry Akaza. Right? I said that. And then I posted it on YouTube. And then people were like, Selfless State and see-through world are not the same thing. And I was like, is that right? So I waited. I waited until I finished Demon Slayer, and now I finished Demon Slayer like about 2 weeks ago. Maybe even 3 weeks ago. I don't know how long ago it's been, but I finished Demon Slayer, and now, now I think I know what I'm talking about. All right, I still have the same opinion, right? It's probably gonna be a forever going on debate, but right now I just wanted to throw my hat in the ring because I genuinely do think they're the same thing. First off, what I want to say is that when I say it's the same thing, I don't mean that it's literally the same thing. Obviously, there are two abilities that do different things, right? See through world, you can see your opponent's attacks and yada yada yada. What I mean is that I don't even mean one leads to the other. I think that one, like, having one means that you have the other thing. That's what I meant, all right? So, in this case, I think you get see through world by being in the selfless state. That's what it is for me, right? Um, and basically, that's basically my thoughts. I think that you have see through world because you're in the selfless state. And so now I'm just gonna throw my hand in the ring. I'm gonna, I have a whole bunch of things pulled up so I can remember what I'm doing. So this and this, these are the two first things, and they are examples of Tanjiro and Obanai using see through world for a quick instant, right? For a moment, I could see through him, and over here he uses see through world and literally sees Hantengu inside of the other demon. Yeah, right. And I wanted to bring these up because people were using those. Not, I mean, yeah, using those actually, yeah. People were using these two examples to say that like they're not the same because they did this and they weren't in the selfless state, but that doesn't really prove anything in my opinion, right? Like they literally use it for one moment, but it will make even more sense because it does mean that they're in the selfless state, but it'll make even more sense when I get more into it, right? But yeah, so Obanai and Tanjiro use it for a quick second. They look inside their opponent's body, and it was for a moment, and they can't, hold it down for that long because they don't even know what they're doing. It's just something that comes from intense focus. Now, with that being said, we enter the actual, you know, um, information we get for the power up. So, I've reread this scene so many times, bro. So many times, just thinking about like if they're the same. And after rereading it a lot of times, I still think they're the same, right? So basically, Tanjiro's dad explains to Tanjiro how it feels to do the Kagura dance, right? Because that's the thing that he keeps spamming throughout the entire, not the entire series, but by the time you get to the entertainment district arc, right? And yeah, so apparently this freaking dance, where does it say? It's a dance that they do from sunset to sunrise, just ridiculous, bro. 12 routines performed before sunrise, repeated hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of times. Ridiculous, right? And so Tanjiro's dad tells him that it's no longer that hard for him, right? Back then, it was demanding, but it's not that hard for him anymore. And he tells him the reason why it's not that hard for him. He says, um, I suppose that was because I made a lot of unnecessary movements, right? And he's explaining how when he was even younger and stronger, because you can see him right now. He's old. He's like not starving, but he's sickly, right? But even when he was younger, healthier and stronger, he started to run out of breath and found it hard to do the dance. And now when he's sick, not but older, weaker than he was before, it's no longer hard for him, right? And so he says that it was because he was doing unnecessary movements, making the most efficient moves to exert the most strength. That's the most important thing about the dance, right? When you do that, your head becomes clear. Before we even continue, that just confirms what I said. When you do selfless state, this is selfless state right here. When you perform selfless state, your head becomes clear. You'll understand what that means in a second, and we'll get to it. Remember, when you perform selfless state, this is selfless state. This is literally, this is explaining selfless state. Right? I'll explain why that means it even more, but, right? This is selfless state, and this is see-through world. Then he continues going. He talks about how you have to learn all the moves, yada yada. And then he says, hold on. Then he says that you open your five senses, becoming conscious of your own body down to each and every blood vessel, right? Become conscious of it. This isn't full selfless state or see-through world just yet, right? You become conscious of it, but you can't really control it just yet. And then he says, after you have learned and absorbed many things, you cut away what is necessary. What is unnecessary. This is describing selfless state. Selfless state, we'll get into it again. Okay, we'll get into it. Selfless state, this is selfless state right here. Selfless state, just off the top of my head, it's taking away everything else. It's literally like you taking away everything else to attack without any malice, any fighting spirit. And the way to do that is to cut away what is unnecessary. You don't need fighting spirit to shoot and attack. That's the entire point. You leave only what is necessary in your movement and close yourself. Close yourself. When people try to listen closely, they close their eyes, right? Just like that, you focus on what is most necessary in that moment. This is where it is. Just like that, you focus on what is most necessary in that moment. Does your vision change? Look closely at his body. Does your vision change? Look at him. Just like that, you focus on what is most necessary in that moment. Most necessary in that moment. Boom, he could look at it. Most necessary in that moment. Sniff him out. He hasn't run far. He's close. Where is this? Where is it? See. Closer. Look closer. More. Focus on what is most necessary in that moment. Extreme focus, and you enter the transparent world. Extreme focus, and you enter the transparent world. Right? And it doesn't end there. Let me see what this is. Yeah, never mind. Anyways, yeah. Before long, you become able to open and close your blood vessels and muscle throughout your body as quickly and easily as blinking. Just like I said here, right? Here is not fully see-through world or selfless state. This is just being conscious of it. But eventually, when you go into selfless state, you get to control all these things. Control these things. Selfless state, you become able to control these things. And when your head becomes clear, you begin to see this transparent world. When you do that, your head gradually becomes clear. Remember. When your head becomes clear, you begin to see the transparent world. And I love this. I love this right here because I think the author really tried to make the connection because not everybody's going to have the exact same definition. You know what I mean? However, you only reach this domain because you push yourself to the limit of your strength. This domain. Right? Just remember that. Domain. But anyways, I just want to go over it once again because maybe I didn't explain it completely. I mean, I didn't explain it correctly. So, remember that selfless state, again, is taking away everything you have and just doing what you need to do. That's what selfless state is. Alright? You have no fighting spirit, you have no malice. You're just doing what you have to do. Be it dodging an attack or swinging your sword. You have no fighting spirit. You're just doing it. You know what I'm saying? There's no intent behind it. It's just boom. You did it. Because fighting spirit is unnecessary. That is the entire point, right? And so, because you do that, right? This is explaining selfless state because you're controlling all this stuff. You can see the transparent world. So when you're in selfless state, when you're doing stuff in selfless state, you can see the transparent world. A good example in another anime, let us say, damn, I can't really think of a good example. I really like this power. I like this like little power thing right here, but yeah, I can't really think of another example. But just understand, like, imagine someone's using selfless state, right? And because they're in selfless state, they can see through you. Because they're using selfless state, they can see through you. That's what it is. All right. Extreme focus, looking at him. Extreme focus, looking at him. You know, just taking away everything else and just focusing in on one thing. Boom. And you get transparent world, right? And now we see, which is like not basically combination. It's just another thing that adds on to what I said, and it's this, right? Dude, all Tanjiro's dad did was fry the bear. But then he says that what he did was to give him a lesson to learn from his movements and see the transparent world. And the reason why he had to learn from his movements is because, where is it? Before and after severing the bear's head, there was no fear and no ill will. Only my father was there and his usual calm. Those are the movements he wanted him to learn. Is movement without any fear or ill will. Just movement. And because he could learn from that, he can see the transparent world. Right? And then boom. I think yeah, okay, we can use this from real quick, right? So after we see his dad literally use selfless state to see the transparent world, we see an example in the fight. I know, father. That's why a moment ago I was able to dodge one of Akaza's one of his attacks. That blow probably could have killed me. Alternating attacks with Gyu and taking momentary breathers, I could dodge fatal blows. But at that moment, even Gyu was not in time. But for some reason, I didn't think that I might not be able to do it. For just a moment, I felt that I could enter that world. Extreme focus. And guess what, chat? I could see through his body. It was the same as when, I don't know whether I saw it or smelled it. Dodge. I concentrated only on that and closed my other senses. He used selfless state to dodge. And because he used selfless state to dodge, he could see through Akaza. That's like, that's really blatant to me, alright? Because he used selfless state to dodge, he could see through Akaza. Not to dodge, but because he used selfless state, he could see through Akaza, and he used it to dodge. That's what I meant. Alright? Just straight focus, because look, the attack is in motion. And obviously that's what he's thinking. Dodge. I concentrated only on that and closed my other senses. Right? So, using selfless state allows you to see through your opponent and do all that. And I think, we're about to get into it right now, actually. Well, actually, I'll put this at the end, but um, I put domain of supremacy here because he uses the same word here, right? Domain of supremacy. You can only reach this domain. So I think it was like it was a not a callback per se, but it was a connection. It was a connection between the two. And funnily enough, very fun. Like, bro, I totally forgot about this, but look, I forgot because I put this. Did I put it here? No, I didn't. I didn't put it here, but I remember thinking about it. And he says, in his eyes there is no hatred or anger, right? Just like his dad. Hold on. Just like his dad. No fear or ill will. No malevolence or fighting spirit. Perhaps what his eyes perceived. And this thing is acting dumb. Okay, chat. Perhaps what his eyes perceived was the domain of supremacy I've been seeking, nothing less than a selfless state. That's another confirmation that it's the exact same thing. He's in selfless state, so his eyes were able to perceive through his body, yada yada. Perhaps what his eyes perceived was the selfless state. And so we move on to Gyomei, right? Gyomei is a really... I love Gyomei, bro. He's super freaking strong, but... So, Gyomei. Hold on. Let me see what I put here. What did I put here? Yeah, okay. Why I put this at the end? Yeah, I put that at the end for that, okay. We'll get to that in a second. So, apparently I didn't open up the other page, but it doesn't matter. We'll go to it. So... Gyomei is a really weird case, right? So Kokushibo is using transparent world to, you know, do all this stuff to them, right? To fry them. And Gyomei is like, what the heck is he seeing? What is he looking at? You know? And then he says, just like I have to keep one of them open. What was the what page was I referring to yet earlier? What did I say? Which one was it? After you leave only what is necessary and close yourself. Boom. Leave only what is necessary in your movement and close yourself. I must focus my senses. Determine the truth of what feels wrong. I have to observe my limits, right? He was talking about limits in this thing. I didn't really mention it, but it's right here. That no matter how much you struggle, you will not be able to go further. Your limits. And then, boom, he uses transparent world. And why? Because he uses self-estate to focus on him. What is this? I can sense his pulse. I formed a clear image. This is it. And at the same time, boom. What's this guy's name? Muichiro? Muichiro is using the exact same... He's not using the exact same thing, but we can see it. Inside. Get inside his reach. You can see him. It's just like this. I see. Closer. Look closer. More. Inside. Get inside his reach. Get in. Get in. Get in. Get in. He did it 4 times, bro. You can see he's fully trying to do this. Slip past inside his range. Pass through the gap in his attacks. Right? Complete focus. We'll get back to this in a second, but complete focus. And then boom. He does it. This wounded child just barely dodged my attack. The rosary whatever. Those eyes, can they see the same world that I do? Right? So Muichiro uses selfless state to get through the attacks get inside his reach, just like when Tanjiro dodged It's like when Tanjiro dodged this attack right here, boom, get inside his reach. He used it, and he could see the see-through world, and he just barely dodged my attack. Right? Y'all getting it? Now I wanna go to even more proof that is the same thing, because after Gyomei looks into him, Gyomei's like, okay. He shoots this attack, and then boom, he gets hit with a rosemary. He's like, he must have thrown it the moment he swung his chain. How did he elude my field of view? And then he does it again. He does the exact same attack again. Why is that, chat? There was no fighting spirit behind it. There was no fighting spirit. He can't sense it. And then boom. Where is it? Where is it? Right here, right here. That one too, he senses it. He began seeing it in the middle of the fight. He deceived my eyes. He controlled his own blood circulation and disturbed my attack. Boom. That's literally just confirmation he's using selfless state. Because the only way you can control your own blood circulation is if you use selfless state to get rid of everything that's unnecessary. Alright. Now hold on. This stupid thing, dude. Yeah. Yeah. Before long, you become able to open and close your blood vessels and yada yada yada. And the domain, yeah. Right? That's the explanation for these. Yeah, Muichiro, he does this thing, right? And like, bro, it's never like, you know what I'm saying? He uses it for a second to get to Kokushibo, and then from there, like, he just dies, obviously. But you know, he does his thing. And yeah. And yeah, chat. Alright, so I wanted to go over this because this was someone's like retaliation to what I was saying. And like, I'll put it into context real quick. So this is right after this right here. Anyways, as I was saying, this happens right after. Hold on, where is it? Yeah, this happens right after this right here, right? And he's like, yo, while Gyu is fighting him, use this effectively and take down Akaza. And then he's explaining what he saw in the transparent world. And then he says, Akaza may be sensing my fighting spirit, but if I close it off, I may be able to aim for his head. And people are trying to say that, you know, Tanjiro didn't use selfless state just yet. Right? He didn't use selfless state just yet, and he's saying that, oh, he's about to use selfless state, right? But like, that's just, you know what I'm saying? That's not what it's saying. He's saying he's gonna use this ability, right? Use this effectively and take down Akaza. He's using this ability where he closed off everything else. He literally says the exact same thing. He says, close it off. Dodge. I concentrated on only that and closed my other senses. He's saying that he's gonna use this, but instead of like closing, I don't even know what he closed back then to dodge it, but instead of closing his other senses, he closed as well his fighting spirit. It's the exact same thing, right? The wording isn't instead, but yeah, you get what I mean, right? And yeah, he's gonna use this on Akaza. Yeah, just like that. Yeah, boom. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Just let me know your thoughts in the comments. Oh yeah, I didn't go over this. Yeah, no, I don't have to go over this. I don't have to go over this, but anyways, it's funny, right? Because look, Tanjiro does it. Oh, this is even more confirmation of what I was saying. So Tanjiro blitzes him, right? He takes down his thing. And look at this. He's literally just looking at them. He's been looking at them the entire time. Look at his eyes. The entire time he's just been looking at them. With that cold look, and he's just been looking through them. And guess what happens right after? Guess what happens right here? Boom, 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 boom. He's walking towards him, and you can't even sense him. Because he has no fear in spirit, bro. That's what the selfless state is, man. So yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, let me know your thoughts in comments, bro.